think over the years, I've reflected a lot on kind of my political journey and why I even started getting involved in politics in the first place. And I think it really does start with my dad. And it starts with this kind of memory that I have of him, where, in high school, I was kind of goofing around, kind of the class clown, not necessarily doing what I was supposed to, not taking schoolwork too seriously, and kind of hanging out with the wrong types of people. Um, it got to a point where I started failing classes. I wasn't doing well academically, and my dad was really upset about this. And so one night he had just kind of had it with me. He was kind of fed up with everything that I'd been doing, all of the foolishness that I had been kind of um, prone to get into at school and in my social life. And so he just got fed up with me. And one day I came home from hanging out with my friends, and he pulled me aside and he pulled me into the kitchen one day and just put a stack of papers in front of my face, or in front of me, in front of the kitchen table. And he had me go through the stacks of papers, and paper after paper after paper. It was college after college after college, writing to my dad, um, trying to get him to apply to their respective schools. And some of them were pretty big schools. You had Brown, you had Harvard, you had some of the Ivy Leaguers. And midway through it, I kind of recognized the message that my dad was trying to tell me. And it was that, my dad had graduated 13th in his class from Apopka High School. He had done everything right. He had gone through the proper channels and worked incredibly hard to make sure that his dreams became a reality. But unfortunately for my dad, he was actually undocumented. And so he wasn't able to not only apply to some of these schools, but he wasn't even able to come close to applying to any of these schools because of his undocumented status and because he was afraid um, of him coming up in the system. And so you look at somebody like my dad who worked incredibly hard his entire life, but who was never able to really realize his full potential. And I think what my dad wanted for me in that moment was for me to realize that I was really wasting an opportunity that I had here in this country that he never had. And it not only inspired me to work harder and to try and live up to the opportunities that was never afforded to my dad, but I think it also sparked something inside of me that made me want to help those people who couldn't always have the opportunities that I did to reach their full potential. And so I started to get involved in politics. I started to work for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign in 2016. And as I went on through college, I worked on multiple political campaigns, whether it was working for um, a doctor in Daytona Beach who was running for Congress, or running for Andrew Gillum, who was the first black nominee for the Democratic Party in the state of Florida, or whether it was working for the Joe Biden campaign in 2022. That was something that I was really passionate about, was giving people an opportunity to realize their full potential. And I really felt that politics was the way to kind of make that become a reality. And then that kind of led me to come to Teach for America, where I truly believed that going into the classroom would really make a difference in these kids' lives, where I really felt that I could at least have some sort of impact on their trajectory in life. And one of the things that I really started to notice as I became a part of this um, educational system is the fact that a lot of the times teachers work incredibly hard and they do the best that they can. But one of the things that needs to change in order for these kids to lead meaningful and productive lives is that the system itself needs to change, and things need to happen within education policy that needs to enable kids to realize their full potential. And so for me, this opportunity with Teach for America and to work on Capitol Hill is really an opportunity to help people and to pass laws that are going to really affect people's everyday lives and to help them realize their full potential, just like my father maybe could have had somebody been working in Capitol Hill that truly cared about these issues.